Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns, and in this video I will show you how to do the edging for the Margaux Chic Shawl by my best friend Rebecca Velasquez using Red Heart's Chic Sheep by Marley Bird Yarn. This shawl pattern is a very beautiful pattern that is available for free over at redheart.com. I'll be sure to put a link in the video description box below, or you can also click that little I button right there if you're watching here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Before you begin this video, it's important that you have the body of the shawl complete, so that way you're ready to jump in with the edging instructions. If you need help with the body of the shawl, don't worry, I'm there for you. I've already completed a video for the body of the shawl. I show you how to begin and work rows 1 through 11 right on the video with you. Then you are left to complete rows 12 through 53, which is just a repeat of rows 8 through 11, which I show you in the video. It's at that point that it's time to start the edging, and that's where we will begin with this video. So go ahead, grab your completed shawl, and let's jump in and learn how to do this really great edging. Okay, let's jump in. As you take a look down here, you can see the completed swatch. This is the body of the shawl worked through what would be row 53. So this is actually the setup row, and then row 1 through 11, and then I did row 8 one more time for my row 52, and then I did row 53 to get to this point. It's at row 53 that you are to begin your edging. That's what I will do here, and I will start my edging with a different color so that way you can see the stitches easily. I will be following along with the written pattern, so I encourage you to go ahead and have that pattern in front of you as you're watching this video, and I will give you the instructions both visually, and then I will talk you through how to read the pattern. That way you'll be able to do both after the video is complete. Okay, so just so that you can kind of get an idea of what it is we will be doing here is on this particular sample swatch, you can see in the green tea colorway, that is the edging we will be doing. It'll be a little bit longer on the actual shawl, but this is what we will do. The first row here is all about setting up our stitches so that way we can begin to build the double crochets and the post stitches from there. Okay, so this is what we're getting ready to do on our other sample swatch. So I will set this aside, and as I mentioned, I am changing colors, but you do not have to change colors on your actual shawl. I'm just changing colors so that way you can better see the stitches that I am making. All right, I have my pattern in front of me, and away we go. All right, so I want to start off and make sure that the wrong side is facing me, and this is where I left off after my row 53, so you should be ready to go as well. Following along the pattern, we begin with a chain 1. So I've already done my chain 1, and then we will work a single crochet in the first 2 treble crochets from the previous row. So I've done my first 2 single crochets. Now I chain 2, single crochet in the first double crochet cluster, single crochet in the next chain 3 space, and then chain 2, double crochet in the next cluster. Oop, that was a single, so I want to do a double crochet in the next cluster. Double crochet in the next double crochet, and then double crochet in the next cluster. This is where we are at this point. You can see in the pattern that this is where the star is, so this is where it indicates that you will work your repeat. So here we go. Looking at the star, we will go ahead and begin with our chain 2, single crochet in the next chain 3 space, single crochet in the next double crochet cluster, single crochet in the next chain 3 space, chain 2, double crochet in the next double crochet cluster, double crochet in the next double crochet, and then double crochet in the next double crochet cluster. And now we do our repeat. So this is where I go back to where the star is and I work all those repeats. So I begin with a chain 2, work a single crochet in the chain 3 space, work a single crochet in the cluster, work a single crochet in the chain 3 space, chain 2. Again, I'll work my repeat. Double crochet in the next double crochet cluster, double crochet in the double crochet, double crochet in the next double crochet cluster, chain 2. Single crochet in the next chain 3 space, single crochet in the next cluster, single crochet in the next chain 3 space, chain 2. Double crochet in the next double crochet cluster, double crochet in the next double crochet, double crochet in the next double crochet cluster, chain 2. Single crochet in the chain 3 space, single crochet in the next double crochet cluster. That is my center stitch, so I will go ahead and continue on moving up my center marker because I want to make sure I maintain that center stitch even through the border. So I want to make sure I have that center stitch marked, and then I single crochet in the next chain 3 space. Can you see how this is working out right here? So we started off over here with our 2 singles, chain 2, then we did a single in the double crochet cluster, a single in the chain 3, and then we chain 2, we did a double in the cluster, a double in the double, a double in the cluster, chain 2, a single in the chain 3, a single in the cluster, a single in the chain 3, chain 2, double in the cluster, double in the double, double in the cluster. Can you see how this is working up? And then we're up here to the middle of our shawl, and we will do the same thing along this half. I will do all of this all the way down to the last chain 3 space, and that's where something will change. So let me get to that space. Okay, I'm to my last chain 3 space, and I need to chain 2, single crochet in this last chain 3 space, then I will single crochet in the last double crochet cluster, chain 2, and single crochet in these 2 treble crochets. So that's how I finish that row. So if I set this down, you can see that I have really just kind of filled in the valleys and the peaks to really make this line really nice and smooth. It's no longer like shells anymore, right? It's really nice and smooth, making it great to begin to build this nice edging, which is a nice smooth edge. There's no ripples and rolls along this nice curve. So that's what we're getting ready to build. So that's the end of row 1 of the edging. Let's jump in with row 2. Now with row 2 of the edging, what we will be doing is filling in all of these chain gaps so that way we can get a solid row of double crochets. So we go ahead and we turn our work and we begin with a stacked treble crochet. And remember, a stacked double crochet is where you do a single crochet into that first stitch, and then you take your hook and you go into the leftmost vertical bar of that single crochet you just completed and work another single crochet. And then you do that again in the new single crochet you just completed, and you have a stacked treble crochet. Once you've done your stacked treble crochet, place another treble crochet right next to it in that single crochet. Now follow along with me in the written instructions. I'll go as slow as possible and try and make sure that I am on track just like all of you. Let's see here. We start off with a chain 2. Now we will put 2 double crochets into this first chain 2 space. So I will put 2 double crochets there. And this is where our increase is happening. Our increase is happening right here at this edge, and it will happen down here at the center point also, just like before where we worked our increases at the outside edge and the center. So I did my 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. Now I will put a double crochet in the next 2 singles. So I'll put a double into that single crochet and a double into this single crochet. Now I will go ahead and I will put a double crochet, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. So I'll put 1 and 2. Now I'll put a double crochet in each one of these stitches. 1, 2, and 3. I will put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. And this is where our star is, so this is our repeat. The repeat says we will put a double crochet in each one of these single crochets here. So we will put a double into that one, a double into this one, and a double into this one. Now we put 2 doubles into this chain 2 space. So there's 1 and 2. And then we put a double into each one of those 3 stitches right there. So we put 1, 2, and 3. And then we put 2 doubles over here into this chain 2 space, excuse me. And that's the end of our repeat. But we are not even close to where our repeat needs to end, right? We need to go to 1 stitch before our marked center. So this is where I would go back to where the star is and keep repeating from star until I get to 1 stitch from that center stitch. So right here, I put my double into this single, a double into the next single, and a double into the next single. 2 doubles into this chain 2 space, and then a double into each one of these doubles. Two doubles into this chain 2 space. And once again, that's the end of my repeat. So I have to repeat again because this is my marked center and I've got all these stitches to there. So let's work that repeat one more time. And that's on my example. Obviously, if you're working on your shawl, it's going to have more stitches before you get to the center. So you go ahead and work up to where you're 1 stitch before your center marker. And here we are. I am 1 stitch before my marker. Here's my marker. So here's my first stitch before the marker. I will put 2 double crochets into this stitch. This is going to work my other increase. Remember I told you we have this increase down here by putting 2 stitches. We're going to have our increase down here by putting 2 double crochets into that 1 stitch right there. So I just put 2 double crochets into that stitch. Now into this marked center stitch, I want to put 3 double crochets. And then I will mark the middle one of those 3. So there's 1, and here's 2, and here's 3. Okay, I can go ahead, take my marker out and move it up. I want to put it in the center one of those 3 I just completed because that represents my center spine. That's important, okay? So there we go, we have that one. Now we carry on in the pattern. We want to go ahead and put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So the next single crochet, we will put 2 double crochets in there. So there's 1 and 2. Now we will put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. There's 1, 2, and we will put a double crochet in each one of those doubles right there. So 1, 2, and 3. Put 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space. And now we have our repeat. So we're back to where our repeat is. So we will put a double into each one of our stitches and 2 doubles into each one of those chain 2 spaces. We'll do this until we get to the last 4 single crochets. I'm down to my last 4 single crochets, and this is where I'll follow along with the pattern. And it says to do a double crochet in the next 2 singles, so I'll do 1 there and 1 there. I will do 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space. Then I'll chain 2, and I'll work a treble into each one of these last 2 single crochets. There we go. So as I set this down, you can see that our edging is really starting to take a really nice, even sort of shaping. Now what's really awesome is that we have just built up this really great base of double crochets, and in the following rows, that's when we begin to build our nice lines of post stitches, which give a really great texture and dimension to this beautiful lace fabric with a nice solid edging with that little post stitch. It's a lot of fun. It gives a good visual. It's also nice because the way Rebecca designed this is that the lines follow along the outside of the shawl, and then they meet at the center where they increase out a little bit, and you get some nice, really beautiful lines happening. So let's go ahead, and these next couple rows are really going to build up where the post stitches are going to be, and then it's just a matter of following along with the pattern and making sure you place the post stitches on top of each other to get the really great fabric. So let's go ahead and jump into row 3 of the edging. All right, so let's do row 3. So I go ahead and pick up my work and I will turn it, and let's begin with our stacked treble crochet. So I go ahead, work my treble crochet into this first space, or not my stacked treble crochet, sorry, into this first stitch here. There we go. And then I will do my treble crochet into the next treble crochet over. All right, so we have those. Now we jump in. We chain 2 to begin. Now we will put 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space. This is our increase, remember. So we want to make sure we do that increase. So there is our 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. Now we will double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and 2. Now we want to go ahead and do our back post double crochet around this next stitch. So you yarn over your hook, coming from the back of the work, go in one side, go around the post, come out the opposite side, yarn over your hook, and then bring your hook back down that same path and up. We have 3 loops on our hook, and you just complete your double crochet as normal. So the only difference between a double crochet and a back post double crochet, or a front post double crochet for that matter, is simply where you create that double crochet. You'll notice that the next part of the instructions is where the star is, and it says to do a double crochet in the next 4 double crochet. So in the next 4 stitches, we will go ahead and do, oh, there's a knot. Don't you hate that? Well, let's go ahead, just because I have you here, I'm going to go ahead and cut that knot out. You always want to make sure you cut out the knot. And because of that, I will go ahead and I'm going to rip back to the start because I'm so close. And what I'm going to do is I am going to change to make sure that that knot, or to make sure that the end of my row is where my new yarn is. Does that make sense? It's easier to weave in down there at that end. All right, so now I can just trim this up, and then I will just have an extra end to weave in. So some of you might be saying, why did she go through all that trouble? Well, you know what? Mistakes happen. Sometimes you get knots in your yarn and you have to fix it. So now you see how I do it. I literally will rip out my work till I'm at the beginning of the row, and I will start in. So there we go. I have my yarn on my hook, and let's get back to where we were. So I start off with my stacked treble crochet. All right, so I'm back where I started. Here we go. So we will put a double crochet in the next 4 double crochet. So that was 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I will do a back post double crochet. So remember, I go behind my work, I go in one side, around the post, out the other side, yarn over, and then have my hook travel back that same path. I have 3 loops on my hook, and I just complete my double crochet. Now you'll notice that's the end of the repeat, so that's where we will repeat again. So we will go ahead and double crochet around or into the next 4 doubles. And then I work my back post double crochet. And I repeat again. Now I'm going to do this repeat until I get to 1 stitch before my marked center stitch. So let's go ahead and just keep this up. It's pretty simple. I'm just working double crochets. So I do 4 regular double crochets, then I do a back post double crochet. And then I do my 4 double crochets again. Make sure you are not accidentally working into that stitch where you created that post, okay? Otherwise you will get an increase that you do not want. I'm getting close to my marked stitch here, so I can obviously get another repeat in here down there to where it's 1 stitch before my marked stitch. So don't think that you need to stop early here. So I did my 4 doubles. Here's my post stitch right there. And look, I'm 1 stitch before my mark stitch, which is exactly where I want to be. Okay, now that I'm 1 stitch before my marker, I'm ready to follow the next set of instructions. You can see that reading the instructions, you want to go ahead and do a double crochet in the next double crochet. That's 1 stitch before my marked stitch, okay? So I will do a double crochet right there. That's 1 stitch before my marked stitch. Now into my marked stitch, I will do a series of stitches. You can see in the instructions that there is a set of parentheses, and everything that's within that parentheses we are going to put in this 1 center marked stitch. So we begin with a double crochet into that stitch, and then we will do a back post double crochet. So we yarn over our hook, and then just like before, we go around the post of that stitch, yarn over, bring your hook back that same path, and work your back post double crochet. And now we have to do 1 more double crochet in the stitch. So there's my first double crochet I did. So we're going to go right next to it and do another double crochet. So all into that marked stitch, I have a double, a back post double, and a double. Now I want to go ahead and I can move this marker up to my back post double, but to keep things in order so that you guys can see how things are working along here, I'm just grabbing a new marker and marking the back post double crochet. Now I continue on with the pattern now that my stitch is marked right there. I go ahead and I double crochet in the next stitch over. So I will double crochet in the next stitch over. And now I do a back post double crochet in the next stitch. So just like before, I yarn over my hook, go around the post of that stitch coming from the back, yarn over, bring that hook all the way back through the same path, and complete my double crochet. Now I will go ahead and double crochet in the next 4 double crochet because this is where I begin my repeat again. And the repeat is double crochet in 4 double crochets and then do a back post double crochet. So there was 4, and now I do another back post double crochet. And then I repeat. I continue on this repeat until I get to the last 2 double crochets of this row. And with that back post double crochet, I'm to the last 2 double crochets of my row. I go ahead and I double crochet in these last 2 double crochet. I will put 2 double crochet in this chain 2 space, chain 2, and then I will do 2 treble crochets, 1 in each one of these treble crochets to end with. All right, let's set this down. So this is what we've done. On this side, it doesn't look like much because you can't see your post stitches. But when I flip it over, you can begin to see where the post stitches are going to pop out because I have prepped their work. There'll be even more pronounced after this next row because every time we come up to where we see our back post double crochet, when it's facing us, it'll look like a front post. We will do a front post double crochet. So let's go ahead and continue on. Following the pattern, we are on row 4. So let's jump in with row 4, and I have already turned my work. So I will begin here with my stacked treble crochet just like before. So I will go ahead and finish that up here. So there's my stacked treble crochet. And now I do another treble crochet on top of the treble crochet next to it. There we are. So row 4, we start off with a chain 2. And we put 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space. So we will do 1 and 2. Now we have our repeat. So we will go ahead and do a double crochet in the next 4 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect, because that brings us up right here, and this is our post stitch. So on the opposite side, when we did this, it was a back post. As it's facing us, it looks like a front post, which is great because that's a big indicator to let you know it's time to do a front post double crochet. So we will yarn over our hook, and coming from the front this time, we will go around that post stitch, yarn over, bring your hook back that same path, and complete your double crochet. Now, making sure you don't work into that stitch that you just worked around the post of, you carry on with the repeat. And so we would do a double crochet in the next 4 double crochet. And then when we get to our post stitch down here, we'll do another front post double crochet. So here's our post stitch, yarn over, go around the post of that stitch, going from front to the back and then back to the front, yarn over, bring your hook back that same path. So now you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, draw through 2, yarn over, draw through 2. And we will repeat this until we get down to 2 double crochets before our center marked stitch. I'm down here to 2 double crochets before my center marked post stitch right there, okay? So this is the part where the instructions change up a little bit, so we need to pay attention. We begin with a double crochet in the next double crochet. And then we will put 2 double crochets in the following double crochet. So there's 1 and 2. Now we're to our marked stitch right here, okay? And in this marked stitch, we are going to do a double crochet, a front double crochet, or a front post double crochet, and a double crochet. So very similar to what we did last time, only instead of doing a back post double crochet, we're doing a front post double crochet. All right, here we go. I'm going to take this marker out so that way we can complete the stitch. So I will start off with a regular double crochet just like we normally do. Now I do a front post double crochet. So I yarn over my hook, go around the post of that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then work my double crochet. Now I have to do 1 more double crochet into that actual double crochet I worked into first. So I will do that. So what I've done here is I've worked 3 double crochets into 1 stitch, but I want to maintain my marker along that center stitch there, okay? Because that is my center of the shawl, and it's important to mark that. Just as before, the pattern at this point tells you to work up to the marked stitch. So if your stitch isn't marked, you won't know where to stop. So you've got to make sure you mark it. Once you've completed this series of instructions, you go ahead and you carry on. So in the next double crochet, we will do 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and 2. And then we'll put 1 double crochet into the next one. And now it's time to a front post double crochet around the next one. So right here, see that? So we will front post double crochet around the next, and now it's time for our repeat. So we will go ahead and double crochet in the next 4 double crochet. and then your 2-year post stitch. So we do our front post double crochet. You repeat this all the way through to the last double crochet. So let's go ahead and get down to that point. I'm to my last double crochet, so I will go ahead and double crochet into the last double crochet. Then I will place 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space, then chain 2, and put trebles on top of the trebles here at the end. Now as we take a look here, you can see all these really great vertical lines that we're creating by all of the post stitches that we have built up, especially right here down the center. You can see that by doing those 3 stitches down the center, not only are we increasing and getting our nice curve for the shawl, but we're still maintaining this really great vertical line, which looks awesome next to the lace for the body of the shawl. This will show up even more as we work along the next few rows of the edging. So let's go ahead and jump in with row 5. All right, so for row 5, I turn my work and I go ahead and I begin with the stacked treble crochet just like all along. So let's go ahead and begin with the stacked treble crochet. At this point, you guys should be getting pretty good at this stacked treble crochet right here. Once you have that one complete, go ahead and put its partner right next to it into that next treble crochet over. And here we go. We are going in. So we chain 2. We now put 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space. So there's 1 and 2. We will double crochet into the next double crochet. And now we are going to start building another vertical line because we have enough stitches to do that. So in order to do that, we yarn over and we will do a back post double crochet into the next stitch. Once you've completed that, it's time to work our repeat again. Pretty simple. We know how this one goes. It's 4 double crochets. So we will do a double in the next 4 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. And that will bring us up to where our post stitch is. And because we're on the wrong side of the work, we will do a back post double crochet. So we will come around the back of the post and work that stitch and carry on. You will continue doing this until you're 4 double crochets before the center marker. All right, so I am 4 double crochets before my center marker. I will go ahead and, following the instructions, put a double crochet in the next 3 of them. So there's 1 and 2 and 3. And now I will put 2 double crochets in the next one. So this is the one that's just before my marked center. So there's my 2 double crochets. Now in my marked center stitch, I need to do a double crochet, a back post double crochet, and a double crochet. So just like before, let's remove our markers so we can do this. We will do a double crochet into this stitch, a back post double crochet, so make sure you're going around the post of the stitch there. You see that? Post of the stitch. Yarn over and bring that all the way back through. Follow that same path all the way up to your back post, and then you need to do a double again into that regular spot. So we have 3 stitches all into one. Go ahead and take your marker and mark the center one so that way you know where it is. And carry on with the instructions. We will put 2 double crochets into the next double crochet, 1 double crochet into the next double crochet, and 1 into the next one, and 1 into the next one. Now we do our back post double crochet. And we're back to our repeat. So continue on doing your repeat all the way down to the last double crochet. All right, so I'm to my last double crochet here, and I will double crochet in the last double crochet, put 2 double crochets in my chain 2 space, chain 2, and then work treble crochets in my last 2 treble crochets. And we'll take a look at what we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my work so that way you can see the right side of the work here. And as I set this down, this is complete through row 5, as you can see, and it's even more pronounced, the vertical lines. Can you see that, how beautiful they are? And how they're really starting to spread out right here from the center of the shawl. I think it's really awesome. So one thing that's awesome here is that as we continue on with the next couple rows, it's really a continuation of the rows we've just completed, continuing on those nice vertical lines and creating the nice center, a spine line as well. So let's go ahead and work row 6 next. Okay, so row 6, how do you think we start? You think it's anything new? How about a stacked treble crochet? So let's go ahead and work our stacked treble crochet. And then we will do our treble crochet in the next stitch over. Once you've completed your treble crochet, let's go ahead. We do chain 2, and we will double crochet 2 times into this chain 2 space, just like before. Now we'll go ahead and we will double crochet in the next 3 double crochet. And this is where we begin building on our post stitches again. So there is our post stitch. So we will work our front post double crochet, and here is our repeat. So we will do our double crochet in the next 4 double crochet, and then our front post double crochet. And we will repeat this down to 1 double crochet before our marker. So let's go ahead and continue on. All right, so this is my last stitch before my 1 stitch before my marker. So this is the part where I need to do the center instructions. So it looks like I need to do 2 double crochets in the next double. So there's 1 and 2. Now in this marked stitch here, I need to do a double crochet, a front post double crochet, and a double crochet. So I will remove my marker so that way I can do all of that into this area. So let's do our double crochet into that stitch. Do our front post double crochet into that stitch, and then do our last double crochet into that stitch. There we go. Remember, we want to keep that center post stitch marked, so we will stick our marker back in there, and we are good to go. So now the next part of the instructions have us do 2 double crochets in the next stitch over. And now we do a front post double crochet. This is going to make it so that it mirrors the other side that we just finished. And now we do our repeat again. So we're back to 4 double crochets and then the front post. So let's go ahead and jump into our repeat, and we work our repeat to the last 3 double crochets. Okay, so I'm down to the last 3 double crochets. And this is where my instructions change up once again because I'm no longer following my repeat. So what I need to do here is double crochet in the last 3 doubles. And then do 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. Chain 2. And then work a treble into each one of these trebles here at the end. It's looking pretty good at this point. You should be able to set your work down and really start to see where things are starting to take shape. You can see these vertical lines coming into play a little bit more. And down here, what you're going to notice is you have the vertical lines here and here your straight one coming right down the center, but then we just created 2 more coming out here as well. So as these sides are increasing, we're also increasing our vertical lines every 5th stitch. Makes it really pretty, and we're going to continue to build on this. So on the following row, we will do the same thing. We will continue to build on top of those lines. So let's go ahead and do the next row. All right, here we are with row 7. So we turn our work and we begin just like before. So let's do our stacked treble crochet. This is why I don't get paid to sing, because I'm not exactly the best. But hey, by this point, I feel like it's super repetitive, but I've made this mistake before of stopping videos early when I think that you guys should know what's going on, and then you guys are asking for more help. So I'm making sure that in this video we have as much help as we could possibly need. All right, so what I've done here is I started off with my stacked treble crochet. I've done my treble crochet right next to it. I've chained 2, and I've put 2 double crochets into my chain 2 space. Now we are going to do a double crochet in the next 5 double crochets here. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you might be wondering, why is it that we have 5 double crochets instead of building another back post double crochet right here? Well, we're nearly to the end of our edging, so we don't want to build another line out there at the outside. We totally could, but it was Rebecca's decision not to do that. So that's why we have the 5 double crochets there. Now we go ahead and we would jump in with our back post double crochet, and this is our post stitches, right? So it's easy for us to see, so we could do our back post double crochet right here. And we are ready to begin our repeat, which we know what to do. It's just a double crochet in the next 4 double crochet. And then we will work our back post double crochet, because we are looking at back post double crochet. It's a back post double crochet. So I will back post double crochet it. You will continue on doing this until 3 double crochets before the center marked stitch. I'm down to where my 3 double crochets are before my center marked stitch. I will go ahead and double crochet in the next 2 double crochets according to the pattern. And then I will place 2 double crochets in the following one. So I put 2 into 1 stitch. Perfect. Now I'm to my marked stitch, and it's time for me to do my increase again. So I will do a double crochet, a back post double crochet, and a double crochet all into that marked stitch. So let's go ahead and remove my marker. I will put a double crochet, a back post double crochet, so make sure you get around that post, and do the back post double crochet, and then 1 more double crochet, just like we've been doing all along. And then make sure that you mark that center stitch, so that way you know where it is once again. All right, so there it is, and we carry on with the pattern, which has us do 2 double crochets into the next double, double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. So there's 1 and 2, a back post double crochet, and then we're back to our repeat, and we work our repeat down to the last 5 double crochet. All right, I'm to my last 5 double crochet of this row, so I will go ahead and double crochet in the last 5. This is just the same way as we started. Remember, both sides are symmetrical, which makes it really great. So if you ever have doubt of what you should be doing next, you can always take a look at how you started. And once you do those 5 double crochets, we will do 2 more double crochet in the chain 2 space, chain 2, and then work a treble into each one of those last treble crochets. And 1 more right there. Perfect. And that completes our row 7. So obviously it's hard to see anything on the side of row 7, so I will turn it. And let's take a look at what we have here. I'm going to move this one completely aside now because we've totally bypassed the width of that one. So this is the body, obviously. Here's the edging we've been doing. We have these nice vertical lines all coming. And you can see right here, here's the vertical line again. Here's one right down center. And then here's the two vertical lines that have started up with the increases that we've created. All right, so as you move on and do row 8, it's very similar to everything we've been doing before. We're going to make sure that we do our post stitches on our post stitches, work our increase down the center and the sides, and carry on. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in with row 8. Let's go ahead and have you take a look as I work along. For row 8, you go down to the last 5 double crochet before your marker, and this changes up just ever so slightly. We want to put a double crochet in the next 4 double crochets. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. In the next double crochet, we are going to work an increase here, and we're going to do the increase using one of the post stitches. So we will go ahead and we will do a front post double crochet, and then we will put a double crochet into that same stitch. Now that we've worked that increase, we're to our center stitch, and we're going to work an increase in our center stitch. So in our center stitch here, just like before, we will do our double crochet, our front post double crochet, and then we will do a double crochet into that same stitch right there. Once you've completed that, you go ahead and mark that center stitch once again. And then we move over here to the next double crochet over, where we will work another increase. We will start off by doing a regular double crochet, and then we will do our front post double crochet around that stitch. So there's a bunch of increases happening right here, but it's really important. And the cool thing is we're used to doing those increases with those post stitches and a regular stitch with it. It's just that we're doing it on either side of the center one as well as the center on row 8. So now we can carry on with the rest of the pattern. So the rest of the pattern here has us do a double crochet in the next 4, and then we're back in our repeat, right? So we have a double crochet in the next 4 double crochet, and then we have our front post double crochet right here. So I will work this repeat all the way down to the last 2 double crochet of this row. All right, so I'm down to the last 2 stitches of this row. I will go ahead and double crochet in the last 2 double crochet. Place 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space. Chain 2. And then put a treble in the last 2 trebles. Whew! That's the end of row 8, and we have some nice, beautiful increases happening down here at the point. Our nice, gorgeous lines have continued on, and as we move on to row 9, it changes up a little bit, so we get to do something a little bit different. So let's jump in right now. All right, so row 9, we will turn our work over. So we're on the wrong side. And this one, oh my gosh, we get to start with something different. I chain one and I do a single crochet in the first 2 treble crochets. And then I go ahead and I will put 2 single crochets into the chain 2 space. Then I will single crochet in each of the double crochets across to my center marker. So I just get to do single crochets, you guys. I will even do the single crochets into those post stitches. See how that's my post stitch? I'm just doing a regular single crochet. So I will single crochet all the way down to my marked stitch. All right, as I come up to my marked stitch here, remember we still want to maintain this nice curve, so we have to work increases. And so the increase we will work now in this marked stitch is simply putting 3 single crochets into that marked stitch. So there's my stitch and I'll just put 3 single crochets into it. And because it doesn't matter anymore, I don't have to mark that stitch, because on the following row, I'm not going to work any increases. I will simply do single crochets all the way along the row. So now that I've worked that increase, I will simply work this all the way down to the chain 2 space. I'm down to my chain 2 space. I will put 2 single crochets into my chain 2 space. And then I go ahead and put a single crochet in each one of those treble crochets. Check that out. All right. So this entire row is just a series of single crochets. And down here at the end, I did my 3 single crochets to get that nice curve. So as I turn my work over, I don't need my marker, so I can move my marker out of the way. Turn my work over, looking at the beautiful body piece. This is my edging with the really great lines coming down, and they're separated by 4 double crochets. So every 5th stitch, there is a post stitch, and it has this really nice edge of single crochet. But we're not done. We have one more edge of single crochet we have to do with row 10. Super simple. You'll start off with 2 single crochets in the first stitch, single crochet all the way across to the last stitch, and put 2 single crochets in the last stitch. That's it. All you do at that point is weave in your ends. You could block your work a little bit and you're done. So how does it feel to complete your entire Margaux Chic shawl? I know even I'm excited to be done with my little swatch right here. It's been quite the adventure. I have had a great time teaching you how to make this wonderful shawl. If you want to learn how to make more great shawls, check out all of the shawl videos I have right here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. And when you get a chance, don't forget to grab some Chic Sheet by Marley Bird yarn, 100% washable merino yarn in 24 vibrant colors. You will not be disappointed. I'm Marley Bird, proud spokesperson for Red Heart Yarns, and this is the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Everything you need to know about knitting or crochet can be found right here on the Marley Bird YouTube channel. Learn with Marley Bird. Visit youtube.com/Marley Bird.